All right, welcome to our Frenemy podcast bonus, our league listener 757 League Talk, episode doso, or two, for my Spanglish there. But we're breaking down our the championship.
Super Bowl is here.
The Super Bowl of the 757 showdown here.
One of us made it.
One of us, bling bling, me. Yes, I did because, Tim and I were talking the whole time in there. Neither one of us wanted to win that game.
Apparently, your players did not want to win.
And his did not. When I look back, the difference maker, all right, someone goes back looking there, I truly believe the difference maker was me picking up Atlanta's defense and them outscoring 22 points.
Oh, is that what they got?
That was the difference because the rest of my lineup was poop. Tim's lineup was poop.
I would say the second thing that was big was Evan Ingram. Because who would you have started instead of Evan Ingram?
Two waiver wire pickups.
Yep.
Guys that we talked about on the podcast. And that's why you guys should listen. You probably don't. When you get that far, you just here for the party question, leave us.
Yeah.
Or if you're on the special guest, it's the only time you listen. But, outside of that, listening to those two things, picking it up, playing those guys was the difference maker against a very good team in Tim.
And Saquon. That was
Saquon,
issue.
yes. When Howard scores more than Saquon, I'm sorry, Tim, that wasn't very good. He kind of had that feeling. And, it was – I got to keep watching all the way through Monday night. I was like, I think I feel good.
Yeah.
That's what happened there. And then Ryan against Joe.
That's
Was that even close?
Yeah, it's the massacre we thought it was going to be.
I saw Joe the rest of the match that weekend and this past weekend, and he wasn't even sweating. He's like, I feel bad for Ryan. I don't even know if they ever met. He said, I feel bad for the guy I'm playing. Nobody's healthy in his lineup.
Yeah,
he's like, that wasn't even fair.
That was the big issue. He couldn't put together a roster that was going to be able to do anything.
No.
So, Samuel was basically the only thing that did anything for him. Elijah McGuire, that's a pretty good off the waiver wire pickup he put in, which ended up better than Frank Gore. But, yeah, he couldn't overcome losing. Oh, no, he started Frank Gore as well. So.
Joe scored lower than I did. I scored just under 100. He scored like 88.
Yep.
But Ryan's team was nowhere close when you lose Connor and Gordon not starting.
He overcame 2 zeros to beat Ryan, so that just shows you how bad Ryan's team is. He had 0 from the Rams defense and 0 from Austin Hooper.
And 68 points for Ryan. I think Daniel was talking mess over there. He's like, well, if me and Morgan outscored the guys in the playoffs, can we be in the title game? It's like, well, it matters. If
only that's the way it worked.
It has to be when it matters there, Dan the man. But, yeah, honestly, if you looked at it and we didn't say who is playoff and who's consolation game, you would have thought it was the other way around. So that was a weird playoff week.
Yeah, I'll take this moment here to talk to Daniel. So Daniel, let's put something on the line here. He's
on the line,
calling me out, telling me you're going to take my 5th spot. Now, really, it doesn't matter because we lock the teams that don't make the playoffs right before the playoffs.
Yep.
So this game doesn't really mean anything. So let's make it mean something, Daniel. If you got something for me, just send me a little bet that you might have, and let's do this. I want to play for something this week.
Yes. Let's do it.
Let me know about it.
Man up.
Anyways, enough about this past week here. Chris, why don't you start breaking down your roster and tell all your secrets to... So I guess it doesn't really matter.
Doesn't really matter. I'm looking at this one. Joe's a heavy favorite here, but I'll break down my roster going in here into this matchup. I don't beat him in many spots, but you start with Mahomes. He needs a bounce-back game. He played good. You talk about bounce-back game. It's one of the few games he did not throw for 300 yards.
Yeah.
But he needs a great game against Seattle coming in. Todd Gurley, I'm so worried about his knee. He finished out the game, but he had some swelling in his knee. I'm watching that closely. He's questionable right now. If he doesn't play, then I'm just done. Let's just send it to Joe. Get the ring already sized up.
Todd Gurley is your team every year.
He is. He was the only reason why I won that last year and then did 2 years ago. But then, I go as Gurley goes. So Todd Gurley, he's playing against Arizona, so if he's healthy, man, he'll run shop on those guys. But that's if he's healthy. And then you worry about how much would they hold back. The Rams lost on Sunday night to the backup QB, Wonder Boy himself, Foles and the Eagles.
Yeah.
So they're still fighting to keep that bye week, right? Home field advantage.
Talking about Alshon here.
Yeah, well, I'm talking about the Rams. Like, they are still going to want to play Gurley because they're going to have to keep they lost some games they should have won. So they're going to want to keep playing with their big boys.
Well, they're not only in danger, they have lost now the first seed. They would need the Saints to start losing, but they're also in danger of losing that first round bye there.
Yeah,
the Bears
they're playing
continue to win.
wild card weekend if they can't put it all together, and a lot of that is put on Goff. I also think give the ball to Gurley, not just because he's my guy, but he's your best player. And sometimes they're missing Cooper
It opens
Kupp.
up everything for Goff if they have to be concerned about.
They haven't been the same when Kupp out of there. Having to go to Reynolds and stuff there. So their offense was just so nice with everything there. But go to your prized possession and ride him going in. So then let's go through a little faster here on my side. Sony Michel, sneaky Buffalo defense here, and he's not always getting as many carries. I'm worried about him. He might not.
Damian Williams or something.
I hate you. Picking up Damian Williams over me. You're not even in the playoffs. He did. Adam Thielen, he hasn't been doing that good since, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, since the bye week coming out from Minnesota. So I have to start him just because he's.
Oh, you would.
Yeah, I'm going to.
No way.
You have to. And I'm hoping that he'll blow up on Detroit. I need that. Alshon Jeffries, I'm going to start him this week. Nick Foles loves him. Evan Ingram was a great pickup. Thank you for talking about him on the waiver wire segment a few podcasts ago. I finally picked him up and did great because they ain't got no one else to throw to consistently right now with Eli's captain check down. You check down to the tight end.
I bet Joe wishes he could pick up Evan Ingram right now.
Oh, yeah.
Austin Hooper goosing him.
Ooh, man, it's not, And then Phillip Lindsay, I'm hoping for a bounce back game. It's great. He's playing the Raiders.
Yeah.
I wish the Rams were playing the Raiders and I would have 50 points from Gurley. Yep. Then defense, I don't know what I'm going to do there because it's Falcons against Carolina. I'll check waiver wires there. And Brett Mayer is my kicker. I can definitely tell you I was picking up a kicker on waivers. So up and down my roster that way. Anyone on my bench that I like. Adams from Philadelphia. That depends on how I'm feeling with Sony Michel or what happens with Gurley's injury. But everyone else you see in this lineup will be there except for probably my defense and my kicker that I'm playing waivers on.
Okay.
Break down Joe's crazy good lineup.
Yeah.
Riding a hot streak.
I'm going to start from the bottom. Now we're here.
Yes.
No.
No,
I'm going to start with your kicker.
he scored 20 points last week.
He was amazing. He's probably if Ryan actually showed up, your kicker would have been why you won last week.
Yeah, that's all he would have said. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean he killed a lot of fantasy matchups. He scored. I think in a lot of leagues he outscored Mahomes.
Yes, he did. Mahomes got 18
Talking
points
about-
and he had 20. I was like, dang.
Yeah, so I might lose Joe to the vote on no kickers, but
Yes.
anyways, yeah. So you're gonna keep that kicker. Defense, I'd be looking for another option. Maybe
I don't know. It's
not.
going against Arizona.
It is Arizona. Yeah. I don't know. The Rams' defense has just not been what you expected it to be.
No.
I guess it's not too bad of an option for you. If I was to tell you to start anybody else on defense, I'd be looking for that Tennessee or Dallas if they're out there in our league, which they are.
They are.
So you guys might be fighting for that.
That's weird because your defense is playing your flex too.
Yeah. Oh, I know. David Johnson.
David
Johnson's your next option here. Obviously, keep him in the lineup. Tight end, I would tell you not to start Austin Hooper, but I'm realizing you don't have another option.
There's nothing out there. Does he have anyone benched?
No, he's not really looking at it. Oh, wait, he's got Vernon Davis, which...
That's even worse now.
That's probably worse. Austin Hooper, I don't know if I didn't watch this, so you might need to go back and look at what happened with him, why he got a 0. I know he was very questionable to start the game, so maybe he re-injured it and went out. But yeah, you're kind of screwed in there. I would honestly pivot from Hooper after getting 0, but you don't have a lot of good options out there. Herndon, I think, is the best thing sitting out there.
Yeah, Mark Andrews, but there's 3 tight ends to play for the Ravens at one time. Dallas Goedert.
Yeah, you're just hoping.
You're just hoping there, man.
The Foles, I wouldn't even trust that. Yeah, so maybe
you
you
stick with Antonio Gates.
Stick with Austin Hooper, but that's your 1 weak spot. And then your receivers, they're going to bounce back. Juju Smith-Schuster, Tyreek Hill, I'm sure they'll have big weeks this week. Nick Chubb, only 10 points from him last week. Definitely going to be a top 10 option this week. Obviously, you're keeping him in the lineup. Christian McCaffrey, the MVP of the league this year for sure.
He's phenomenal.
As far as fantasy goes, I think he's the fantasy MVP. So if you're going to win, it's going to be most likely because of Christian McCaffrey. And then last, I saved this for last because
if you lose,
hopefully you're listening here.
Yeah.
I talked on the regular podcast about this. Cam Newton, get him out. I think you're going to lose because of Cam Newton if you play Cam Newton. I know you're a Panthers fan. I know it's difficult, but I mean, I heard you were talking to Chris about this, that that injury is serious. It's causing him to have to check down. So I would pick up a quarterback on our waiver wire. You're probably looking at somebody like a Josh Allen. It's gross because he's Josh Allen, but he rushes the ball. So
better than Newton right now.
And then you could take your chance with Brady. I think he's going to have a better option. So, that just tells you the state we're in if I'm telling you to start Josh Allen over Cam Newton. So, if you want to win this championship, don't blame me if I'm wrong. But put in Josh Allen over Cam Newton or just another option. If you like somebody else better, I just think Cam Newton is the only reason he's still in is because they've had playoff contention. It wouldn't surprise me the second they're out of playoff contention, he goes on the IR and gets his surgery. Joe, I think you've got the best shot at this, kind of just prediction time.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be Joe. I don't know if that's my heart telling me this because I really don't want Chris to sit up here with 3 rings while I have 0. But yeah, go Joe.
Yeah, I would pick me, obviously. No, if I let the numbers speak, and honestly, my heart, my gut feeling is Joe should run with this. You got too many scoring options that stand alone. All right, they're standalone options. They're not completely dependent on something. McCaffrey, look at how horrible the game was Monday night, and they lost at home, and he still did great. Yeah, and then Nick Chubb is coming to his own. They need him to balance for Baker Mayfield to get those open throws downfield. For a playoff spot. And they're a playoff run, so he's going to get there. Your lineup top to bottom, I think what will lose you the game is Cam Newton. If we somewhat become close, Cam Newton will lose the game for you. Yep. I just believe it. Or if he bounces back, then it's like, shut me out because now he's going to score 20-plus points. There's no way I can go. My lineup, I need Thielen to reappear and Mahomes to get back to 30 points. And Gurley. I have to go with the 3-headed monster if I have a chance. Yep. But I have a 3-headed monster against a full lineup with a 20-point kicker. This is really tough. This is your Joe, I think this is your year. Obviously, I'm rooting for my side, but the numbers, the stats, the roster says Joe all the way.
Yep. All right. Well, let's kind of move on to something a little more fun.
Yes.
We haven't done these in a while, but let's compare our league to something, and we're going to do The Office. Who doesn't love The Office?
I love The Office. I watched it like 9 times. I quote it every single day.
Yep. I've been watching like the Christmas episodes going back just because I missed The Office. So, all right, we're gonna go through. I'll start off with Ryan.
Yes,
I really didn't want to give him, what some would say is one of the best picks.
But it fits.
It's Michael Scott. He's goofy. He has unusual methods. Somehow he produces results. Like how does he do this? Like
single forever because he has bad dating habits. There's your Ryan.
We'll talk about his possible soulmate a little bit later.
Yes, possible, yeah.
And then he gets on your nerves, man. But you can't stay mad at him.
I know, right?
He's just like that little puppy. I'm sure he would love this because he hates dogs. But he's just like that little puppy.
He just pooped and peed all over the carpet.
Exactly, all over the place, all over our podcast.
Yes,
but then
over.
we can't stay mad at him.
Yeah. I love it. He is a Michael Scott. Who do you got for Phil? I love this choice. Please say it.
So, don't get mad, Phil, but this is...
He will.
Yeah, which is why this is your option. You're Angela.
You are Angela.
You take everything way too seriously,
You leave the group chat like 20 times a year.
It just seems like an Angela thing to do. I'll leave it there. We could continue on, but we'll not go any further.
Yes.
All right, Chris.
Oh, man. So we had a hard time picking. I don't know why it's always hard picking one for me in any segment we do. But I picked Nard Dog. I am the Nard Dog.
This might have been the character we missed on that episode.
Yes. I did sing some a cappella in my days. Andy Bernard with me coming in there. No reason he should have been the manager when he was the manager. No way I should be the champ. Outside of Todd Gurley coming in. I try to bring the light humor into things. So I'd take the Nard Dog. I might get that tattoo on my butt. Who knows? Yeah, here we go.
Oh, boy.
But Daniel, talking about soulmate earlier at the beginning with Ryan. Here we go.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll enjoy this, Daniel. But I have you as Holly.
Yes. They're married in real life. Michael Scott and Holly, like they're actual...
Yeah, I think I did know that. Yeah. It's Steve Carell and that.
Steve Carell, whatever the actress is.
Yep, no one knows her.
No one knows her. Holly.
So Daniel,
not Holly. No,
there was a reason you're Holly.
Wrong one.
The bromance has started, and it's getting real, I think. I think they're really starting to vibe. This bromance between Ryan, who's Michael, and Daniel, who's Holly.
I gotta see their text chain. I gotta see how far the bromance has gone.
He seems to get Ryan. Not many people do. And
that's a connection thing, man.
He understands him in ways that just none of us do.
That's true.
He's able to, side with him on obvious things that we should change, like kickers. I don't know what your feeling on kickers is actually, Daniel.
Oh, we don't know.
But no, but like on our rule changes, you just seem to side with your boy Ryan. So
All the time.
you actually root for him. I think when we did the survey, you were one of the ones that actually rooted for Ryan.
I don't know where that is coming from because your brother's completely opposite.
So you get Holly for rooting for Ryan.
Yes, and I was wrong. Real life, Holly and Michael are not. I was thinking of the realtor. The realtor in the episodes is
Okay.
yeah.
I was thinking
Steve
it wasn't.
Carell's actual wife there. All right. Oh, I love this one.
David.
I got you down as Oscar because you always have to be right. You convinced us to go to this new point system. Whenever we argue about something, you come in, chime it in. It's always got it. You're always right. You know, it's like you can't tell David he's wrong.
Okay.
98% of the time, he's right. I
true. It's true
go
with
by
Oscar.
it. It's true with Oscar, but then when he's wrong, he won't take it. Won't take it at all. And David's the same way. They'll come back and okay, I was totally wrong that way. But yes, David's always right, so I think he's Oscar.
Okay.
No
And
other
then,
implications on that.
For Andy in our league, I had Toby.
So terrible. Toby, yes.
I know. It's. I'm sorry, Andy. I truly am. But
It's
we had
the
to make
auto
a
draft
comparison
thing,
here.
that made him,
Auto draft in the first rounds. Ever since you came in and declared the defenses, I feel like you're just kind of the one that nobody wants to like. So
Yeah, it's like, we got to be
we don't have a
Andy this
reason
week.
really.
No real reason.
That's the thing. You're a great guy.
Just-
Toby's a great guy.
There's no real reason for anyone to hate him in the office either.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
That's
Toby's
Toby.
a great guy, but for some reason it just gets on everyone's nerves.
You ever notice the whole cast on the Office or Twitter certification? You get the little the verified little thing, and Toby, his actor, is not verified. It's just everyone else
That's
is not
fantastic.
him. All right, Joe, I picked Creed.
I picked this one too, which is funny. 'Cause I
It's
don't
just
even know
like
you, Joe.
Creed's just out there going in, and then he's got like a hidden talents. If you see in the last episode, spoiler alert, he's a wanted criminal, but he did all these great things, but nobody really knows. Same thing with Joe. He's got a phenomenal team, and like me and David and Phil are like the only connection
That guy you forget
that works that way. I'm like, I was trash talking about this week in fantasy to your wife, Joe. So I'm like, yo, Linz, you better tell Joe he's going down. And she's just like, yeah, whatever. I'm like, oh, I got to go visit Norfolk Academy and talk trash with Joe here because I picked Creed. I don't know why Creed.
All right. Well,
Sean, I like this one for you.
I couldn't find one. We kind of picked a situation. So the relationship in the early seasons between Jim and Pam. I'm going to say that's me as a fantasy owner. I've always been so close. Seems like it's going to happen. That fairy tale seems like it's right there, but it never lines up. It's just something goes wrong.
Right.
And that's kind of what happens with their relationships over and over again.
Yeah.
It just seems like me and the fantasy champion should be best friends, but I can't quite get it.
It clicks. It does click at the couple episodes
I
in.
know.
So
I'm
it's
hoping
coming around.
I was gonna say I'm hoping I'm at the end of season 3 and we're getting to season
Hopefully,
4
yeah.
around when I can.
Yeah. Now you just like kiss the trophy and it's like nope, and then you had to move away.
Yep.
We're at that season.
Yep. All right, and then last year I know Morgan's gonna love this, but we picked you as you're Kevin.
You're Kevin.
He's like, he doesn't really have a clue what he's doing.
You drafted someone on injured reserve. Okay.
He's in his job. He's an accountant. He doesn't know what the heck he's doing.
Yeah.
But everybody loves him.
We love him.
I mean, David for some reason doesn't. I don't know why you don't love Morgan.
Yeah, he's
I'm
Morgan's
just
still in the
kidding, man.
league.
He loves Morgan.
Everyone loves Kevin. That's why
Yeah.
we picked it for Morgan.
Yep.
No matter what, clueless, not winning.
He's kind of that sneaky player that everybody roots for too.
Yes. I would love to have your chili one day.
That's exactly.
All right, so that was our Office thing. Yes, most of the guys in our league loved or watched The Office. So I think hopefully you guys have fun picking that. Hit us up in the group text or comment on here if you think there was better, choices for other people. That'd be awesome to hear from you.
Yep.
Again, the Oscar of our league, David will hit us up and correct us on our
yeah. He's always got a
on
better
our
answer.
picks. Yes. So name change, comedy stand up. We're talking about the loser of our league and what he has to do. So Kamish, take it away.
All right, so Morgan, you got last place here. I've been talking with him about this, and if we can find a cheap flight, then we might be able to get Morgan in town for this. If we can have him come up.
Let's do it. Hitchhike.
Name change. We got to start talking about this actually. So start thinking, guys. I'm sure David, you'll have a great option for us, but we got to come up with a good name change for the captain. He will no longer be the captain next year, so we'll have to do that.
He'll be Kevin Malone.
It's a good start. I like it.
Yes.
I like it. So, just hit us up with that. And then, the other thing kind of leading into the stand-up thing, it would be fun to watch him do the stand-up. If he does come in, I've always wanted to do this, and we've never been able to get everybody on board. So just work with me, guys. If we can make the schedules work, I want to do speaking of The Office, the Dundies. We're
The
gonna do
Dundies.
the Frenzies.
Frenzies, yes.
Yeah, so let's do the Frenzies. Let's do an award show. I think it'd be really fun to get together, give out we'll give the trophy to Joe, when he wins over
Oh,
Chris.
snap. No, wait. I got to add more rings.
And then we'll come up with a bunch of different categories. That's kind of what I want help from you guys is, and people that aren't in our league too. If you guys are listening to this, go ahead and feel free to send us some suggestions for what the categories could be. You've gotten to know these guys in the league a little bit just from us talking about them, who might have won what this year in fantasy. So yeah, I think that'd be a lot of fun. We could maybe, Dave was talking about if we could find a way to get the Dirty Buffalo to let us, get up there and use their speaker system or whatever, use the little back area. I don't know. We'll see what we can do, but I think
I like the idea.
Frenzies
Frenzies would be great. Yeah, that'd be like a dream come true being part of like the Dundies.
Yep.
having our league of our own there.
Yep, and we'll maybe record live podcast there too, something like that.
Let's do it.
All right, so that's pretty much it, guys. We probably won't see you till after the new year.
Joe, you go down.
He's going to a Minnesota game. Oh, I forgot to mention this. We didn't mention it on the regular podcast, but happy birthday, Chris. I don't think we'll see
December 27th.
He'll be gone.
I'll be gone.
The next time we see him, but
I'll be turning the dirty 30.
Oh, the dirty 30.
3-0.
Yep. So
I feel like 5-0, but that's just my body.
oh man, it's gonna be like really close to your birthday when you would win your championship too.
Yeah. So
I
hopefully
don't
it's
want
a
you to
happy. Yeah, I'm hoping for a happy birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll be back afterward. We'll talk about some of the changes we want to do, and then maybe we'll go through these awards. If we don't get to do it in person, we'll do something like this, or we'll give awards out. So thanks for listening, guys.
Yeah, guys.
And yeah,
have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year's if we don't podcast soon enough.
see you guys.
See ya.
Go Joe.